Well, I said I was going to film a round 2, and here it is. Which one of these nets is going to be the best to catch yabbies in? Hey, you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Now, a while back, I bought one of these nets, a wire, that's a bait trap. And I compared it with the collapsible bait trap. And this caught significantly more yabbies than what this net did. But I said one experiment alone isn't enough to go by, so I'm going to go and film a part 2. So here I am. I've got both nets, and for bait, I've got 2 small Waranga Basin redfin that I kept for yabby bait recently. Similar size. I'm going to put one in each net, and I'm going to put them both in this dam on private property. If there's one thing that I don't like about this net, it's the little clip that clips this shut, because I can't find it. There it is. Whew. Just managed to find it. That's one really downside to this net. You've got to be so careful that you don't lose the little wire clip. And net number 2, 2 yabbies, 2 nets, both with a redfin on each one. Now there's a few sheep in this paddock eating the stubble down, so hopefully they don't come near my net. Wire net, or my nets, there's 2 of them. Wire net can just go there. I'll put this under here and hope that the sheep don't bloody get tangled up in it. The collapsible bait trap, he can go just up here. Right, now I'll pick up my rubbish. I'm on private property, it would be stupid to leave any rubbish around. Even if I'm on public land, it's stupid to leave rubbish around. There's never a spot to leave rubbish, ever. Anyway, last year I put a couple of nets in this dam. I only came yabbying here once, and I caught quite a few yabbies, so I reckon I'm in with a good chance. I think this could be the perfect time to do a net comparison. Anyway, I'm going to go for a drive for an hour or so, take some photos, try and find some birds or reptiles to photograph, then come back and check them. Right, now it's time for an impatient check of sorts. These nets have been in for about an hour. And no yabbies, but 2 black beetles. Now somebody has told me that when you start seeing these black beetles, you don't catch yabbies. I hope that's not true, because this used to be a great dam. Yeah, I don't know what the go is with them black beetles. Apparently they just don't exist. But oh, there's a big yabby on the outside. I don't know whether he counts because he wasn't in the net. He was on the funnel on the outside of the net, and it's the only one. It's the only one, and he wasn't actually in the net. I don't think that counts. I'm going to put that one back. There's no point me carting one yabby around. I must untangle my net here a little bit. That's funny. There was only one, but he was on the outside of the net. Well, it's a nice size yabby. It's not a monster, but it's it's big enough if I wanted to keep it for a feed. But I'm going to throw it back. I'll throw it about in the middle between the 2 nets. Halfway between the 2. Just in case it wants to go and try that redfin again. Well, after 1 hour I caught one. It was a bit of a fluke, but there's a couple of black beetles which I'm a little bit nervous about. Let's leave them now. I might go fishing for a while. I've got my fishing rods in the car. I might go and see if I can catch a carp somewhere or something, and then come back a bit later on. Give them a few hours. Now I've found a nice spot down here on the lower Ovens River to just sit for a while and drown some bait. And to say the mosquitoes are just rampant is an understatement. They are shocking. To the person that invented AeroGuard, if I find you, I will kiss you. It's an absolute lifesaver today. Now, by the time you see this video, cod season will probably be open, but as I stand here right now, it's about 2 or 3 days before cod opening, so I've got 2 rods, both with Jan-Jack worms, no cheese rod just yet. It's going to go close to the bank. Looks deep. But the short rod that I've already put in was a running sinker, and this longer rod, it's a paternoster. I've just moved a little bit. I wasn't getting any bites up there, but I could see a few carp and stuff swimming around the shallows here, so I've Moved over this side a bit. A nibble on the paternoster rod. Look at this big swirl over here. There's a couple of carp just working their way up and down along the bank here, and I've actually got my running sinker rig is right where that swirl was. So I'm hoping that carp can smell my worms. Hey, something's taking up the slack on the running sinker rig here. Something's taking up the slack on this running sinker rig. Here he goes, and got him. There's been a few big carp just it's got me wrapped around something. There's been a few carp just working their way up and down the edges here. Oh, he's wrapped me around a heap of stuff. It's moving. I reckon I'm going to get this. Maybe. I started off fishing just up there. I wasn't getting any nibbles, and I saw something swimming around here like a big swirl on some waves, and then I watched and I could see something working its way up and down the bank there. Look, I bet you that's the fish that's got my line, and I bet it just broke free. You know what? It snapped the line. See, that's the end of my line right there. It snapped the line, and it snapped the line, and that's what we saw darting across there before was my fish. It snapped the line and broken free. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. Can I get that out of there before it happens again? Right, I've re-rigged. I've had one near fish experience, which I'm pretty sure was a near carp experience. I was fishing over there, but I could see carp near the bank here, so I came over and I literally cast right next to the bank, just like that. And that fish walked straight into my trap. Got him. A bit like a cod, that one. It's fighting a bit like a cod too. Might be a small cod, I reckon. And it is. It certainly had a lot of the trademark Murray cod. Had the cod bite, the cod fight. Not a bad size cod. It'd almost be a legal cod if the season was open, I reckon. Maybe a little bit under. Get him over here. Where's my phone? I might get a quick photo. Okay, nice little Murray cod. Oh no, he's not nearly legal. He's way smaller than I thought. Alright, Murray cod. Go on. One of the best things about getting underwater release footage on a hot day like this is putting the wet head strap back on my head. Nice and refreshing. Getting a bite on the running sinker rig here. It's gone slack now. Look, someone's playing with it, and got him. I've got to keep me. Oh, massive big carp. I'm just keeping my voice down because there's a heap of workers behind me having their lunch break. I look like I'm talking to myself and I feel a bit silly. Oh, now it's wrapped me around something. Heap of forest fire management vehicles there. They all decided to come and have lunch behind me. Look at the size of that mud cloud where that fish is. It's got me wrapped around all kinds of things. There it is. Big. Big. Whoa, on the other rod. Oh, it's all right then. Well, I know that one's a carp, so I'll put it down. And I suspect this one is too. Might be a cod, actually. I'm actually completely out of worms. I've got my last worms on the hook. I've got 2 big fish on at once. I'm in a hell of a mess. What's this one doing? Oh, 2 big carp. I know what to do. I just don't know how to do it. You go in there, mate. You go down there, put me foot on that. Alright, there's one out of the way. You know what, I might just put them both in the same net. Right. This could be interesting. I've got to make sure the first big one doesn't get out. Can barely lift it. Big. Did I have an audience? I was talking to me. I wasn't talking to myself. I got my camera on my head here. So I was losing all calls in a world of hurt. Look at that. 2 monsters at once.
They are huge.
They're enormous bloody things. That's so funny. Right throughout that whole ordeal, I was trying to keep my voice down and not get too excited. There was 2 carloads of forest fire management blokes behind me having their lunch. Then I look around. Once I landed both fish, one of them said, "You know I'm well to do that," and they were all standing there watching me. They were watching me the whole time. Anyway, I got the old scales out. 9 pound and 8 pound. And I weighed them in front of those forest fire management guys. So what's that, 17 pound worth of carp in one go. Now I'm going to put them to sleep right now, and I've got just the tool for that right here. And then I'm going to go and check my yabby nets. Right, I'm back to check these nets. Before I do, I'd just like to give a big shout out to the lovely people at Forest Fire Management Victoria for taking that photo of me with that carp. There's a turtle. He just went down. And also a big shout out to the awesome farmer that's been letting me come onto his private property here and catch yabbies for quite a few years. Righto. These have been in for a bit over 3 hours. Surely that's long enough to get some kind of result. Look at that. Not one yabby in that net. Not one yabby in there. If there's 30 yabbies in here, well then I think I'll have the results. There's nothing. Now someone told me a while back that when you get those black beetles, there's no yabbies. That is so super disappointing. Pretty hard to film a yabby review when you're not catching a yabby net comparison when you're not catching many yabbies. I might move these nets to a different dam. Right, I'll try this dam instead. I've caught quite a few yabbies in this dam over the years on this channel, not for a few years though. I've never had really big catches of lots of yabbies, but I have caught a few really nice sized yabbies in this dam. It's been consistent, but not amazing, if that makes sense. Same farmer, same farm, but a different paddock in a different dam. Let's get the nets in. All right, now I took those stupid black beetles out of this net before I came down here, just in case there's none in here. I don't want to relocate them into here. I don't want to put them in here. All right, that first net's just over there. This one can go in just here. Perfection. It's quite a deep dam, this one. Well, the saga continues. Both nets are in over this side of the dam, probably about 5 or 6 metres away from each other. I'm going home now. I'll either come back tonight or I'll come back tomorrow. I'm going to give them heaps of time to catch, hopefully, heaps of yabbies. Right, I'm back. It's been about 6 hours since I put these nets in. Hopefully they've been in long enough to catch a few yabbies. I'll check them in the order that I put them in. I'll check this one first. Oh, frying the crap out of me. Oh, you stupid duck. There's probably babies just there. The way they when they've got babies, they often do that. If I was to follow that, I'd probably act wounded for ages. But if Holly was here, she'd be laughing her head off. Holly actually is here. She's in the car. She didn't like the look of the... oh, there's something in here. I've got 1, 2. I've got a little one and a big one. The big one was able to get through the small hole in the funnel. I was going to say, Holly didn't like the look of the barbed wire fence. I'm not going to take the meat out because if there's not enough in the other net to give a conclusive result, I'll put the nets in another dam again. What I'll do, I'll throw the small one back. I'll put the big one in the bucket, just in case there's 10 or 11 big ones in the other. Nice little fishing yabby. See you later, mate. No, I'm not going to hold this one like that. I'm going to be a bit more cautious. You can go in the bucket. Right, so there's 2 in the mesh net. I'll leave the bait in there just in case I decide to go and put it in another dam. Right, now if there's only 2 or 3 yabbies or less in this net, that's not going to be a good indication. But if this is just crawling with like 20 yabbies, then that'll tell us that this is a better net. This has only got 2. There's 2 in each net, so they're actually equal on this occasion. Gee, that's a big yabby, that one. That's a very large yabby. Look at the size of it. There's actually might be 3 in there. Oh no, this one just looked... I thought that one was smaller than that. It just looked... It looked smaller against this one. That's quite a large yabby, isn't it? Look at a big claw on him. Right, I'll put these back. 4, 2 in each net. See you later, mate. You're free. 2 in each net. That's still not conclusive. I put some nets in a dam recently and I caught a whole heap of little bait-sized yabbies. I'm going to go and put these in that dam for the whole night, and then I reckon that by tomorrow I'm going to have an answer as to which one of these nets is better. Now, I recently had some yabbying success in this dam. Lots of small yabbies, so I'm pretty confident that I should be able to catch something in here, and this will be the last time I actually have to put the nets in. I'm going to put the nets in right next to each other. Next to this grassy edge. And when I said right next to each other, I mean as in a couple of metres apart, in the same part of the dam, not different parts of the dam. I have made a change here. I've tied the cord to the clip. I didn't want to do that initially because I didn't think that the clip, I don't know, I just don't trust that it's not going to come open if I get snagged. But I shouldn't get snagged in here. That way if I drop the clip, I'll find it. I'm pretty sure that's how it's designed to be used. Right, that one can go just in there. Now, I know this dam has quite a few small bait-sized yabbies in it, so this should be the best chance to get a really clear indication of which one of these nets is better. What a magnificent northeast Victorian sunset. Now, both nets are in. I'm going to leave them in all night. I know there's quite a few small yabbies in this dam, so this should give us a really clear indication of which one of these 2 net designs is best. I'll bring you back in the morning. Good morning, everyone. It's currently about 6:15 in the morning, and it's time to check these nets and see if we can get a conclusive answer as to which one is best. I've got a funny feeling we're going to catch quite a few yabbies here this morning. In fact, I might put some water in this bucket now. I've got quite a few bait yabbies at home that I caught in this dam just recently, so I don't really need any bait yabbies. But if I can get a dozen or so large yabbies for a feed, I might just take them home for a snack. Let's see how we go. How did we go? You've got to be joking. Only 2. I thought this net would be full of yabbies. That has really shocked me. I honestly thought that this net would be just absolutely chock-a-block full of yabbies. I don't need any bait yabbies because I've got quite a few at home anyway, so they can go back in. The redfin can go in to feed the yabbies. Oh, that's actually really disappointing. Anyway, let's check the other net. Righto, mesh net. It's got none. That's really, really weird. Just recently I put some nets in here and I caught a stack of small yabbies. And now, just 2. That's, I don't know which word to use, weird or disappointing. Anyway, I'm going to give you my final thoughts on these nets now anyway. Well, to say that I'm shocked and disappointed is an understatement. Only a week or so back I put 2 of these collapsible bait traps in this dam with dry dog food, and I caught probably 30 yabbies. And I only checked them once. I put them in, checked them about 5 hours later in the middle of the day. I would have thought that these 2 nets overnight would have just... I was expecting to catch 50 or 60 yabbies this morning, and I caught 2. Maybe the bait was too high. That redfin had been in 2 other dams for all of yesterday. Maybe I needed fresh bait. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to give you my thoughts on these nets. Of the 2 nets, the first thing that needs to be mentioned is that neither of them are yabby nets. They're not marketed as yabby nets. They're both marketed as bait traps. And there's different baits all around the world that they could be targeted or intended to catch. So they're not specifically targeted as yabby traps. Personally, if I could only use one to catch yabbies, with this one hands down. This is a much better yabby net in my opinion. Especially, well, most of all, it catches more yabbies. Even since filming the first episode of this comparison, I actually did go out a couple of times and try, but didn't have much luck. But the couple that I did catch were in this net. So this video now, it's been pretty neck and neck, but overall, between the first video and the couple of failed attempts in between, this has caught the most yabbies. If you want big yabbies, it's very important to make sure that you get the net with the larger hole. I think that's a 5 centimetre hole. You can also get these with 3 centimetre holes as well. And they're good for yabbies, for smaller yabbies, bait-sized yabbies, but they're not good for the big eating-size yabbies. These are good in the sense that they're cheap. They're collapsible. You can fold them right down. They're great for storage. They take up little room, and they catch the most yabbies. But they can rip. I've had them ripped open by animals. I don't know what. It might have been platypus or water rats or turtles or something, but I have had them smashed open a number of times in the water by things trying to get to my yabbies or my bait. That won't happen with that net. So these are much more stronger, they're tougher, and they're more durable. These are, this is much tougher, much stronger, and much more durable. These are a bit weaker. They're not as strong, so you've got to replace them more often. Now this, it's heavy, it's easy to throw, much easier to throw. Didn't get it into the water, easier to put it into the right position. It's stronger and it's more durable, but it doesn't catch as many yabbies. Now I am going to be running this test again with shrimp, to see whether it performs better with shrimp. But here's my thoughts. After the first video, a lot of people had different ideas. Some people thought that maybe the mesh was too slippery for the yabbies to grip hold of. One theory that one person said, a theory that one bloke said, and I really agree with, is the fact that it's got tapered ends won't be working in its advantage. If it sits like that, then up this end, if it sits like that, then that's way off the bottom before the yabbies can even get in there. And that way, if it goes down that way, if it sits in the middle and balances, then both sides are off the bottom. I don't like that idea. I think it needs to come out here and be flat right across, not tapered. Also, it's a much smaller net. It has smaller funnels, so it's going to struggle to catch the bigger yabbies. It's a smaller net, which means that... Oops. I just collapsed my collapsible bait trap. That's a smaller net, which means that from the bottom of the net to the funnel, so from the floor of the net to here, isn't very high. So smaller yabbies won't be able to get out, but larger yabbies, if they reach up, they could reach up and grab that and then lever themselves up and climb out, and I suspect that's what happens. So I think it's easier for them to get out of, especially the larger yabbies. And for the smaller yabbies, there's a gap where it joins that they could probably get through, especially if it's not sitting straight on the bottom. The smaller yabbies could get through there. So overall, I like the strength and the durability and the sort of ruggedness of this net, but I think that these nets are a much better net for many reasons. Now, like I said, these aren't marketed as yabby traps, they're bait traps. And one thing I did notice is that in the dams that had black beetles, this net caught a lot more black beetles than that net, which tells me that if you're in a part of the world where you're allowed to use minnows for bait or something like that, this is probably, I reckon this will catch more minnows because it caught more black beetles. So things that swim are more likely to get trapped in there. That's my theory. But anyway, I am going to run this test again, but next time it will be on shrimp. But as far as yabbies go, as far as using them as yabby nets goes, I reckon the collapsible bait trap is the much better net than the mesh net. Thank you all very much for watching.